welcome to your darling program. Welcome to Abntv Newspaper Review. My name is Kenny Afolabi and my co-colleagues here.
Ifeoluwa Adesonya.
Here with me, I have the Punch newspaper and I have the Vanguard newspaper. What of it?
Tribune and Guardian newspaper.
So firstly, we are going to feature into the Punch newspaper. Jigawa Superb will sow salaries of 239 absentee teachers. The Jigawa State Universal Basic Education Board has cultivated the salaries of 239 teachers found absent from the place of duty across the state. This was hinted at the Superb Chairman Professor Haruna Musa while interacting with journalists on Saturday, shortly after concluding a 5-day training for 250 Arabic teachers organized by the board. The chairman said the absence of teachers and be away from duty for a period of ranging for 2 months to 3 years, yet continuing to collect salaries. He noted that some teachers were found to have abandoned their teaching duties for years without attending classes. One notable courses mentioned by Professor Musa was that of the primary school teachers, who was recently to ban as a village head. He said the teachers had abandoned as teaching duties for 3 years while still collecting his salaries and receiving additional payments as village head. Jigawa Superb with old salaries of 239 attendee teachers. The full details of this story inside the Punch newspaper for today. Over to you, Ifeoluwa.
On Tribune newspaper, Senate prioritizes electoral reforms ahead of 2027. Bamidele. The Senate has reeled out its modest achievement to commemorate its midterm anniversary on Friday, highlighting its priority to carry out key reforms of the country's electoral regime in preparation for the 2027 general election. The upper chamber has also disclosed that no fewer than 983 bills, both executive and private members, were introduced between June 13, 2023 and June 12, 2025, 108 of which were fully passed into laws within the term frame. The leader of the Senate, Senator Opeyemi Bamidele, made these revelations in a statement he released on Sunday to commemorate the midterm exploit of the country's foremost legislative institution. The 10th National Assembly, comprising the Senate and House of Representatives, was inaugurated on June 13, 2023, following the elections of Senator Godswill Akpabio as the President of the Senate and Honorable Tajuddin Abbas as the Speaker of the House of Representatives. The full details of this story is in the Tribune newspaper. Over to you, Kenny.
Another story here with me in the Punch newspaper for today. Senate pledges electoral reforms constitutional review ahead of 2027. The Senate has assured Nigerians to look forward to the reform of the electoral system and review of the 1999 Constitution, among others, as the second half of the 10th National Assembly kicks off. The leaders of Senate Opeyemi Bamidele stated this in a statement issued on Sunday to commemorate the mid-time exploits of the legislative institution. According to him, the lawmakers who prioritize the reforms of the country electoral reforms require to assure every vote continues to count and guarantee good governance and make participation in electoral process more interesting for decent and innocent citizens. Speaking on judicial reforms, the senator said, "We are equally looking forward to greater judicial reforms in the next 2 years and to ensure justice is done transparently and tenaciously." Senate pledged electoral reforms and constitutional review ahead of 2027. The full details of these stories inside the Punch newspaper for today. Over to you, Ifeoluwa.
Still on Tribune, Benue killings. We can't continue to be silent, JNI. Jamaatul Nasril Islam, JNI, under the leadership of its President General, His Eminence Alhaji Muhammad Sa'ad Abubakar of Sokoto, has revealed that the continued silence of the killings in Benue State will not augur well for our well-being as a nation. This was contained in a statement issued by the Secretary General of JNI, Professor Khalid Abubakar Aliyu, and issued to newsmen in Kaduna on Monday. The statement said the Sultan of Sokoto is deeply pained and genuinely disturbed by the renewed spate of gruesome killings and bloodletting in parts of Benue State, where scores of innocent and defenseless citizens have been unjustly massacred. For how long will such senseless killings continue to occur on the Nigerian soil? Why has it remained so difficult to security agencies to preempt such catastrophic occurrence in our nation's lives? The full details of this story is in the Tribune newspaper. Over to you, Kenny.
Another story here with me in the Punch newspaper today. Prioritize competence, not strive in choosing leaders, Obi urges Nigerians. Former presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Peter Obi, has called for a shift in Nigeria leadership selections, urging citizens to prioritize competence, capacity, character, and compassion while choosing leaders. In a statement on Monday via X title, "What cannot be hidden in leadership?" Obi said, "Leadership is either succeeding or failing, and the results are always visible. There are critical areas of leadership that must exist for a nation to move forward, and these are summed up in 4 6 A's: competence, capacity, characters, and compassion. Where are these four are non-existent? Prioritize competence, not tribe, in choosing leaders," Obi urges Nigerians. The full details of these stories inside the Punch newspaper for today. Over to you, Felua.
Still on Benue crisis. Tinubu directs security chiefs to implement earlier directive, tax Governor Halia on reconciliation. President Bola Tinubu has directed security chiefs to implement his earlier directives to bring lasting peace and security to Benue State. The president said this in a statement by the Special Advisor on Information and Strategy, Bayo Ononuga, on Sunday. President Tinubu renewed his order in the wake of the latest round of reprisal attacks that led to the death of many people. On the president's directive, intelligence chiefs, the police and the military have arrived in the state to direct security operations and restore sanity. President Tinubu has equally charged the governor of Benue State with convening reconciliation meetings and dialogue among the warring parties to end the incessant bloodshed and bring lasting peace and harmonious coexistence between farmers, herders, and communities. This Benue crisis, it has been non-existent for a very long time.
Okay.
The fights between the farmers and the herdsmen is not today, it has been existing. And the farmers accused the herdsmen, yes,
okay.
that
Fulanis people.
Yes, okay. That they have been destroying their crops, damaging their crops. So they accuse them of damaging their crops. That is affecting their food production. You know, I know the herdsmen too, they value their cattle, they value their cattle. Yes, they really value it. And due to that, they were already fighting about on land, agriculture, and crops. So there have been serious fights. It's a critical situation, and it has been causing loss of life, affecting lives of the people. Imagine
I think the story the story has been existing since, because
not today.
These Benue people, they are very much, and they are even these Fulani, the herdsmen, they are killing these Benue State people because they want to be the head of
yes,
this
they want
land.
to overpower
this land because what they are earning is not that are they eating their crops?
I don't even understand.
So I will just urge the government.
But I don't blame the farmers.
What are the steps that the government has been taking about this situation?
That Tinubu has intervened. And I thank God that the government has intervened in this matter. They have sought for the security forces, to play their major role in this crisis, in this conflict, because it's really critical.
But do you think this what they are taking will help the situation of these herdsmen?
It will. Let them just try their best. I trust our security forces, like the police, the army, if they can come together, they can come together to just settle the matter, because it's becoming too much and it's affecting lives. Imagine killing young, old, because of agriculture, because of land, because of crops. I understand them, because it's really affecting the production of food. If it's affecting the production of food, it will affect their own cost of commodity. It will affect the sales.
I will just urge the government, maybe the Benue State government, to just bring up the communities, the herdsmen, even the farmers together, so that in order to settle the argumentative between themselves. Not doing so, they're still being
here, because this is not
so that would be
the
best solution. That would be the major solution for them to do. They bring them together, solve the argumentation, and solve the situation, so that maybe they just
I
send them
just
out
pray.
of the
I just pray that
farm
the
with
crisis
demands.
will end, because the loss of life, I don't really like that fact at all. Affecting the loss of life, it doesn't really make sense. Killing young ones, killing the old one because of agriculture. So this thing is just a mutual understanding. They just have to understand each other. That's just it. And unity. I guess that's the best.
Among
That's the
themselves.
best solution. And I'm even happy that the government has intervened and they've already deployed the security forces to play the major role in the
These
crisis.
issues.
Yes.
May God help them.
Amen.
Okay.
So over to you.
So another story here with me in the Vanguard newspaper. So we feature into the Vanguard newspaper. Representatives convene legislative dialogue on national security architectures Monday. The House of Representatives Committee on Constitutional Review will today convene a high-level legislative review today on national security architectures on collaboration with the Office of the National Security Advisor. Same, Nigeria's peace and security. The constitutional imperative, the dialogue will take place at the National Counter-Terrorism Center's office at the National Security Advisor, Abuja. Our spokesman Akin Rotimi in a statement yesterday said the event is expected to bring together Nigeria's top security brass. Also expected in attendance will be legal and policy experts, civil society organizations, committee leaders from Fratas regions and lawmakers. Representatives to convene legislative dialogue on national security architectures. The full details of these stories inside the Vanguard newspaper for today. Over to you, Fiolua.
So moving on to Guardian newspaper. Economic reform accelerating growth with price stability. In reminiscence of the early 2000s, when Nigeria transitioned from military rule to Western democracy, the World Bank, International Monetary Fund, IMF, and the global rating agencies Fitch and Moody's have been betting on the prospects of the Nigerian economy, Joseph Chibueze reports. In commemoration of the 2025 Democracy Day, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu drew the attention of the National Assembly to the benefits of the economic reforms embarked on by his administration, including promoting growth, price and exchange rate stability. The President, in his address to the National Assembly, explained that upon assuming office, his priority was to reform Nigerians' ailing economy. Working with his team, he introduced fundamental reforms to correct structural imbalances that prevented maximum growth. We are already seeing results, gross domestic product. Inflation is easing gradually, steadying the price of food, staples like rice and beans. Our net foreign reserves have increased fivefold, and the naira exchange rate has stabilized, the president says. The full details of the story is in the Guardian newspaper. Over to you.
So another story here with me in the Vanguard newspaper for today. Nigerian nationals in India beg federal government to want to come home. Nigerian nationals currently living in India have revealed troubling accounts of mistreatment, extortion, and police brutality, and experience that have led many desperate to return home, but unable to avoid the cost involved. And speaking to Vanguard, one Nigerian described the harsh reality many face and called for quick actions. According to him, protests have been staged against police brutality, including demonstrations directed at the Nigerian embassy in India, but no unveil. He noted that if he and his counterparts were granted bail and transportation back, they would gladly accept their offer and pleaded with the Nigerian government to come to their aid. He said, what we in Nigeria are facing right here in India is so terrible. When any Indian police officer holds you, they will first collect your phone and search it before asking you to call your police to send money before they will free you. Can you imagine this story?
Since we are people looking at it, I wish, hey, this is really serious.
This story based on the Nigerian national that are based in India. What they are treating and what they are passing through. The ash, what their police are even passing through, what they are even facing in that India. Likewise, what I say that what our Nigerians are facing that India said when individual police officer holds you, they firstly collect your money, they will search for it, and after that they will call your parents, even your siblings.
There is no freedom of movement.
You will also pay the money.
There is no freedom of movement.
Yes.
There is no freedom of speech. There is no freedom of expression.
Here in Nigeria.
In Nigeria, there is freedom of movement.
So
Nigeria, we are very accommodating. We don't behave like this to other countries. They are very, very accommodating. Do you notice that?
Yes.
We accept everybody. It's not a hostile country at all that we have to be segregating this country. We accommodate people. I don't know why why they are behaving like this to Nigerians. Nigerians will accommodate. We can accommodate anybody in this country. You are free to live. You are free to move.
You can't attach Nigeria with other countries.
Mm-hmm.
Their own rules and regulations are different from yours.
My country. Yes, I know.
So what they are facing there is very, very, very critical and harsh.
Imagine collecting your phone.
A policeman collecting the phone.
For what?
Search for it. And you still, even if or she asks you to pay maybe 1 million, you pay it instantly before receiving that your call.
Nigeria is a blessed country.
And they will also call your siblings or your parents that so they collect this so more phone. Oh. Make sure you pay the money. Oh. After that, you receive the phone. They will return the phone.
That is terrible.
So those are
Nigeria is a blessed country.
They are facing there, the ash, and they call on the federal government to call to the Nigerian embassy. It's better the urging governments to just come to their aid.
It's better they go back to their country.
Yes.
Maybe what they need now is funds.
Yes.
What they need now is funds. It's better they go back to our country.
So there's no freedom of speech. There's no freedom of movements there. All they are facing is very critical and very harsh.
What is the essence that you are not free to move?
Even to bring out your phone, to just walk anywhere like that, there is not even freedom of movement there.
Can you imagine? So what's the essence? What's the point of living in a tight corner in that kind of country that you are not free to move? But Nigeria is a blessed country. God has blessed us in this country. And we have free mind. We are very, that's what I like about Nigerians. Even the whites, they do testify that Nigerians are very accommodating. But why is other countries, why are they not accommodating? Why?
You can't attach this.
Because of their own rules. We also have our own rules and regulations.
Okay, what are those rules and regulations based on this?
But their own rules and regulation is not that critical. Their
own is
very
much.
That give you freedom of movement.
That is very harsh. So you must also obey and follow the guidelines.
Most especially that Asia countries, that their country is very strict. That Asia country, continent, I mean, is very strict. Unlike Africa.
Okay, over to you, Fielua.
Oh my God. Okay. So moving on to Guardian newspaper, one more time. Tragedy as groom, 2 others died moments before wedding in Bauchi. It was tragic day in Guma and Magama and Guma, 2 towns in Torok local council of Bauchi State, on Saturday when an intending bridegroom, SP Mustafa Gaba Guma, lost his life just moments before his wedding fatiha. The late police officer was reportedly heading to Magama Guma from Mugama for his wedding, scheduled for 10 o'clock a.m. on Saturday, but tragically died at about 9 o'clock a.m. in a fatal auto crash just a few kilometers away. The crash occurred in a village called Baga Tishmaya when the vehicle he and his friends were traveling veered off the road and crashed, killing 2 of his friends, Shaibu Uma and Sulaiman Musa. Sources disclosed that the 3 of them died on the spot, while others in the car sustained various injuries. As of first time, information on the incident remains scanty as the state police command could not be reached for confirmation. However, an official source confirmed the incident, noting that the command is currently gathering information about it. This is really a tragic story. Imagine being prepared for your wedding and the groom involved in an accident. I don't know the kind of situation the bride will be right now. On their wedding day.
Okay, going to their events.
Yes. They already been programmed, like 10 o'clock, very prepared. Even the 2 of his friends died along with the groom. So I don't know the kind of situation.
Very tragic stress.
Imagine the day of their joy. I don't know how the bride is going to cope with this and the family is going to cope with it.
With the preparations, with everything.
Exactly. That day, imagine that day, not even after that day. Even though it's after that day, it's a tragic story. It's a tragic incident. But that day of that event, it's really terrible. I just pray wanting to God comfort the family in Jesus' name as well. Over to you.
So last story here with me in the Vanguard newspaper for today. Unleashing creativity and prosperity. The West Africa Economic Summit of OSUN, referred to be its acronym, whilst it's set to develop an unforgettable experience to the sub-region's businesses community. Beyond the expected lively discussion at Abuja's International Conference Centers, theme, Unleashing U.S. African Creative Economy. This exhibition will blend out economics and West African freely from June 2020 to 2021. According to we experience a dynamic fusion of creativity and innovation, enlightening the region's artistic journey over the past 5 decades. As visitors enter the venue, they will be immersed in colors and forms, They brings the region story to life, unleashing and creativity, prosperity. The full details of these stories inside the Vanguard newspaper for today. Over to you, Sholua.
Petrol price hike, scarcity loom over Middle East tensions. Tanker driver strike. Fuel may return to January price level. Oil nears budget benchmark as Dangote joins Olej with 4,000 tankers. Nigeria may face petroleum product scarcity with consequential price hikes that could push pump prices to around 1,000 naira per litre as tension in the Middle East and a brewing tanker crisis pose fresh tension. While Dangote Refinery yesterday unveiled the operation of 4,000 new compressed natural gas (CNG) powered fuel tankers, a development which may render many existing operators and aging articulated vehicles redundant. The Nigerian Association of Road Transport Owners announced its withdrawal from lifting petrol products from the facility, effective today over face-off with Lagos State government. This comes as Nigeria's crude oil producer exported approximately 12.96 trillion naira products in the first quarter of 2025. Development, which is validation of the Guardian's report to the effect that the country would have lost about $5.7 billion to oil production shortfall in the first 5 months of the year, shows that local refineries would need to report more to survive as well as face price shocks and logistic disruption due to geopolitical tensions at the international market. Hey, this is really disturbing with this petrol price hike.
Okay.
With this petrol price hike, it's going to affect food,
Yes, transportation from.
Yes, it will affect. So I don't suppose something needs to be done because it really affect people who will be able to go out.
Even for work.
People to work. Yeah, exactly. It will affect those going to work too.
So
And it will affect because of commodity. It will affect business. It will affect so many things. I just
all governments to just intervene
to it.
Challenges.
It is well. So we have come to the end of the newspaper review of today. To watch us live and direct, kindly follow us, like, share, comment, and turn on the notification button on all our social media platforms. On Facebook, Abntv Houston. On Twitter, Abntv Houston. On TikTok, Abntv Nigeria. On YouTube, Abntv Nigeria. Stay informed, stay aware. My name remains Ifeoluwa Adesoya, and my colleague.
Kenny Afolabi.
See you next week. Bye.